Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday service, a virtual celebration for June 27th, 2021. We have Cahill and Deline in the house as some of our guest musicians. We have Sarah Rogo in the house as one of our guest musicians. And we have Laura DiDonato as one of our practitioners of service. So something that I'm very excited about that's going to be happening live here at the center on August 12th is that we're going to have Don Miguel Ruiz and his brother Don Jose Ruiz as our guest speakers, an evening with them, with Daring Greatly opening up the whole experience. It's going to be an amazing night. Last time Don Miguel was here, he just rocked the house. So please go to our website where you'll get information on how to purchase tickets. This will be a sellout. I'm so excited. So now, please join me in this virtual celebration.
Pictures that we took, the wisdom from my favorite climbing tree, strings on my guitar, quarters in my mason jar, a smile from a stranger on the street. I will give it all back, all that I receive, 'cause nothing in this whole wide world belongs to me. My body, hair, and eyes, this great blue sky, the gift of singing loud, playing proud. I'll take everything I learned, and even everything I earned. I'll take everything this life has brought to me, and I will give it all back, I receive, 'cause nothing in this whole wide world belongs to me. I will give, 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 I will give it all back, all that I receive, 'cause nothing in this whole wide world belongs to me.
Welcome to Hilltop Spiritual Center. I am Reverend Laura DiDonato, your practitioner of the day. And let's celebrate today as one heart together, listening to the beautiful music of Lee. Let's give him a hand. He's amazing. And the inspirational message from Reverend Dr. Guy. Woo! All right, now let's take a couple deep breaths and go into that heart center. That beautiful, vibrating light in your heart, expanding. Knowing that God is creative and loving and all-powerful. We are also creative and loving and all-powerful. Knowing that creativity, divine creativity, needs our imagination to come to manifestation. And so today, let's take our imagination and create peace in our life, harmony, balance, prosperity, and perfect health. And so with that, we enjoy the highest good for ourselves. And we choose the highest good for our families and the highest good for the Hilltop Spiritual Center. And now we release this prayer, this truth, joyfully, mindfully, and gratefully. And so it is. So it is. Okay. Our reading today is by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Be not the slave of your own past. Plunge deep into the sublime seas. Dive deep and swim far, so you shall come back with self-respect, with new power, with an advanced experience that will explain and overlook the old. Let's relax our beautiful bodies, grounding our feet with this amazing earth. I breathe this sacred moment into the present, breathing in deep and breathing out long. The world is one family, and let's live together, as well as our individual path in our divine journey. Since I am a center of the world family, I bring my focus on my heart center, which is the center of my healing physical being. I visualize a vibrant ball of green energy of light, filled with love, compassion, and gratitude. This blessed energy is never ending and has the power to spread indefinitely. I spread this loving energy from my heart throughout my whole electric body, and now expanding into the room as it continues to expand into my neighborhood, friends, and family, filling them with love, compassion, and gratitude. This green ball of loving light now spreads throughout the city, the state, the nation, wraps throughout the earth and all its inhabitants. If someone is astray, I pull them back into the light. I am now at peace, never to be alone, open to lovingly reaching out to help. I am bonded forever with my global family. We are, I am, love, compassion, and gratitude. Namaste.
So once again, we are at the tail end of a really auspicious week, getting ready to begin another. So last week we celebrated Father's Day, an opportunity to look at the men who gave us life, who did their best to mentor us as well they could, to honor them, to forgive them, to remember with joy, and perhaps even with sorrow, the experience that they had on our life that is now our life. And I think it was really interesting that this year, the summer solstice fell on Father's Day. You know, that whole solar energy to initiate, to begin. The summer solstice is almost considered a pause in the breath. It's as if we have been exhaling and exhaling since the winter solstice. And then there's this pause before we begin to draw in the breath and all the elemental beings begin to make their way back into the center of the earth. It's a time that the sun is at its strongest, that solar power. And interestingly, it is also when our shadow is the smallest. We could almost say that our shadow is as close to us this time of year as any time of year. And so how auspicious that it would be a Father's Day and a summer solstice day that we really begin to remember, to celebrate, to honor these things. But really what it is that power, that life force within us. Yeah, we can look back at our heritage. Yeah, we look at our rhythm to the living planet, but it's our rhythm, our body, our experience. Carl Jung once said this: "Nothing has a stronger influence on the children than the unlived lives of their parent." So really, this is a really good time to reflect on our origin story. In fact, what I would invite you to do right now is to consider this. If you were to think of your origin, your history, your story, and distill it down into one word, what would that word be? So this is a time that we are beginning to see that it is important for each of us to achieve the things that we want, to make the structural changes that will support this. Last week, I talked about the pandemic, and I said that the pandemic, in a sense, has offered each of us two things. It's offered the world this, our culture, our nation, all nations, our tribes, our families, but us as individuals too. The first is the pandemic has acted like an accelerant. It's started moving things, and things that are tenable begin to blossom and grow and take root. Things that are untenable are beginning to break down or fall away. We've seen this as in businesses, but that's also true in our own life. When we look at our original story, is it supporting us in moving forward? And if not, what are the structural changes that we need to make about our own life in order for this to happen? You know, it's almost mythical, and it reminds me of what Joseph Campbell talks about in his story of the hero. And I find it really interesting that the hero's quest and that map of the soul of order, disorder, and reorder are so closely aligned. You know, in the hero's quest, there is the normal, there's the stable, there's the home, there's what is predictable. And then we are called or exiled into a journey to seek that which was lost. And often on the way, We meet a mentor, an animal spirit, a guide, a teacher who instructs us. And that's that disorienting, breaking down period. But then we return. But like the hero returns, a healer and a teacher and a guide, so do we. This year, we find ourselves not only in reorganizing our lives, but looking, and as we take access to our lives, to see the gifts that are there. Now, of course, there are things that we love that we've embraced that are growing stronger, and there are things that we're grieving and letting go. Patrick Campbell Carson says this: "Grief and gratitude are kindred souls, each pointing to the beauty of what is transient and given to us by grace." It's now becoming our world in the community that we're with, but really as we are making our way into the world of who we are, as Ernest Holmes says, as a center of divine consciousness within the vast whole, or as Ram Dass says, as the presence of loving awareness. Something that Robert Wright says is this: "This is a reminder that natural selection didn't design your mind to see the world clearly. It designed your mind to have perceptions and beliefs that would help you take care of your genes." And so, we've talked about this, right? We've talked about this reticular activating system, the biases that we have. And consciousness is really, or this awakening, is really awakening to our own biases, to the own story that we tell ourselves, and how we begin to transcend it and move forward in this. And it's really about how we connect. It's really about how we love. And so love is an action. It is a verb. Bell Hooks says this: "Just as cultivating a garden requires turning over the ground, pulling weeds, and watering, doing the work of love is all about taking action." Love is all about taking action. And this is our spiritual practice, to begin to look at it from that point. I want to introduce a new concept to you that I'll be talking about over the next 6 weeks. And it comes from this Jesuit priest by the name of Anthony DeMello. And he makes this statement: "Charity is really self-interest masquerading under the form of altruism." Let's think about that for a second. Charity is really self-interest. The Buddha did what he did because it was of benefit to him as the Buddha. The prophet did what he did because it was a benefit to him as the prophet. Jesus was who he was, the presence of love, because it was a benefit to him. It was in his self-interest. It was in the Buddha's self-interest. It's in our self-interest to be giving and kind. And so DeMello says this: there are 2 types of selfishness. The first type is the one where I give myself the pleasure of pleasing myself. That's what we generally call self-centeredness. The second is when I give myself the pleasure of pleasing another. That would be a more refined kind of selfishness. So think about this. Working towards justice is working for your self-interest. Working towards a healthy planet, a loving family, a strong and powerful nation. Any of those things that really call us out of simply our own self-focus into something greater than ourselves is in our self-interest. So what I'd like you to consider this week is this: are there wrongs that can be right made by you? are things that you can do that can make the planet more just, more equitable, more sustainable. In your family, are there actions that you can take that are more kind and more loving? In all your activities, is there a way that you can really presence yourself as a center of divine consciousness, as the presence of loving awareness? And what I offer is it is in your self-interest to do good. It is in our self-interest to be more loving, to be more kind, to be more generous. In creating a world that works for all, we really do benefit ourselves.
I've come here again for calm and serenity. Just open my senses and feel the earth's heart. I connect with this place in serendipity, 'cause I'm listening to all there is around me. I'm listening to escape the thoughts that have found me. The world has greater secrets than I can even imagine. I'm learning and growing and loving, 'cause I'm listening. The words that I hear are not all that there is. There's so much more left unspoken. Now I will listen from my heart to yours, to realize our lives in synchronicity. 'Cause I'm listening to all there is around me. I'm listening to escape the thoughts that have found me. The world has greater secrets than I can even imagine. I'm learning and growing and loving, 'cause I'm listening. I'm listening to all there is around me. I'm listening to escape the thoughts that have found me. The world has greater secrets than I can even imagine. I'm learning and growing and loving, 'cause I'm listening to all there is around me. I'm listening to escape the thoughts that have found me. The world has greater secrets than I can even imagine. I'm learning and growing and loving, 'cause I'm listening. And I'm listening, I'm listening, and I'm listening.
As Reverend Dr. Guy mentioned earlier, we're not passing the plate, but there is a beautiful brass bowl back there that would love your love. For a year and a half, we've never stopped loving you. We've taken care of you through virtual services, through patio services, and now finally our sanctuary.
So we have gifts, we have books, we have cake pops for pops. Would you like a cake pop?
I'll take
Chocolate or vanilla?
I'll take a chocolate.
Of course you would. He asked.
You gotta be true to yourself.
There's the relationship to authority right there. I'm so happy that you all came here. Happy solstice. Happy Father's Day. I'm going to walk out as Lee is playing. And for all the fathers, I will offer you, these are baked by a local baker. They were baked this morning, I believe. Yep. Sweets by Brie. So with that, let's bless this day, recognizing that living presence that permeates all things. It is the wisdom that is within all things that guides us. It is the strength that nourishes and supports us. It is the beauty that surrounds us and fills us with wonder and awe, allowing with grace and ease the structural changes that bring us into the greater experience of our true self. And so for all of you, dear friends, to those whom you love and those whom you receive love from, I wish you many, many blessings. And so it is.